Hey guys, Lord Naren White here, the Holy Ghost, the one true God. Back with you with the next video in my Line of God's Daily Diary series. As usual, before I discuss what I have achieved since yesterday's Daily Diary video, I want to go ahead and read you a chapter from the Bible. Today I will be continuing with Genesis chapter 25. Then again Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah. And she bore him Zimram, and Jokshan, and Medan, and Midian, and Ishbak, and Shua. And Jokshan begat Sheba, and Dedan. And the sons of Dedan were Ashurim, and Letushim, and Leumim. And the sons of Midian, Ephah, and Epher, and Hanok, and Abidah, and Eldah. All these were the children of Keturah. And Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac. But unto the sons of the concubines which Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts, and sent them away from Isaac his son, while he yet lived eastward unto the east country. And these are the days of the years of Abraham's life which he lived, 160 years. And Abraham gave up the ghost, and died in a good old age, an old man, and full of years, and was gathered to his people. And his sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah, in the field of Ephron the son of Zohar the Hittite, which is before Mamre, the field which Abraham purchased of the sons of Heth. There was Abraham buried, and Sarah his wife. And it came to pass after the death of Abraham, that God blessed his son Isaac, and Isaac dwelt by the well Laharoi. Now these are the generations of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whom Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's handmaid, bore unto Abraham. And these are the names of the sons of Ishmael, by their names according to their generations: the firstborn of Ishmael, Nebajoth, and Kedar, and Adbeel, and Mibsam, and Mishma, and Duma, and Massa, Hadar, and Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedemah. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names, by their towns and by their castles, 12 princes according to their nations. And there are the years of the life of Ishmael, and these are the years, 137 years. And he gave up the ghost, and died, and was gathered unto his people. And they dwelt from Havilah unto Shur, that is before Egypt, as thou goest toward Assyria. And he died in the presence of all his brethren. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Syrian of Padan Aram, the sister to Laban the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and he was named Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bore them. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau, because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sought pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, Swear to me this day. And he swore unto him. And he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. One of the things that I want to talk about in this chapter is the idea of who is authoring these pages. Now, if we read something here, it's very important. It's unclear to me when it was written. Okay, so I'm doing my best without having the living memory that I believe I had, because I believe I was the Spirit of God. I believe I am the Spirit of God, excuse me. So I don't have memory of this time now. So the idea is this. The title of the first book is called the first book of Moses, called Genesis. Okay, that's the title of this book. So my thought is this: we know that no prophecy came to man except by way of God, like by way from came to man from God, except by the way of the Spirit of God. So that is an important premise. We also know that the Spirit of God um, is is at least given. I don't know if it's official, but is given credit for being part of authoring the Bible himself. I'm referring to myself in the third person. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying I'm trying to put the pieces together. So they give the idea is because again, it's not as though I'm officially acknowledged on earth or anything as the Spirit of God, and nor am I like saying commenting on that. I'm just referring to the idea that the Spirit of God is the one that is sometimes attributed with that. Of course, I believe that's me. Now, anyways, I'll keep going. So the idea is this. This is one of the most interesting things to me in the Bible, is we get chapters sometimes, like we just recently read with both of the recent chapters actually, where Abraham's man goes and meets uh, uh, Milcah and and Laban, etc., and he gets Rebekah for Isaac. And we also read previously about Abraham negotiating after Sarah's death the cave in the fields of Mamre, and the field of Ephron, excuse me, the field of Ephron. That's probably the best way to say it, which was in Machpelah, which was before Mamre, and for that. So these events are like in a clearly like finite amount of time, like maybe a matter of days or months or whatever, right? But now read this chapter here. Read this chapter here. We get this idea here. It says, "And these are the years of the life of Ishmael, 137 years, and he gave up the ghost and died." So, so the idea is sometimes it's unclear because the passage fast forwards sometimes and says, "And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife," which again, it's not like that is actually a continuation of yesterday. Maybe this is not the best example. Rather, it's the idea that we read this here. Of course, we get the verse where we get the description of Isaac and Jacob, excuse me, Esau and Jacob, which was, "And when her days were to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 60 years old when she bore them." 60. So think about this. Just think about what has happened here. It goes from 40 to 60. So 20 years pass in the matter of a few chapters. And now more years are going to pass. The next verse. "And the boys grew." More years are going to pass until we see that Esau gives his birthright to Jacob because he despises his birthright. So it's interesting for sure. So that's what I mean. Is like how the passing of time happens in the Bible verses is very interesting, because sometimes you get like chapters that are full of like 1 day or 2 days. Like you'll get a full speech from Saint Stephen, one of my favorites in Acts 7. That's a whole chapter, but it's literally like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, right? But then here, like decades are passing, and it's been like a verse. Like one of the ones that comes to mind is what after Othniel the son of Kenaz delivers victory, and it says, "And the land rested from war 40 years, and then Othniel the son of Kenaz died." This is the book of Judges, of course, and the idea is 40 years go by in one line, and here, like, so the speech of Saint Stephen, 15 minutes is a whole page, and one of the longest chapters in the Bible. So it's just like the passing of time in the Bible is one of the coolest things, because I think about that as well in the modern Testament, the Gospel according to Lord Naren White. I write about how for example, how God helped me to get a level job, and how much it meant to me. And now think about it, many years will pass before I write the next verse, because I won't write another verse until I have a family, probably, right? So decades will pass, and it'll be summed up in one line. It will be like, I worked for decades, and then I took a wife. Hopefully you plan to take a wife and start a family. It's like just like time just like flies. Just like the way that it's written is just so interesting. So with that, I'll go ahead and end the Bible reading there for today and transition over to what I have achieved since yesterday's Daily Dive video. Since yesterday's Daily Dive video, I worked my software engineering job and I trained Jiu-Jitsu. And with no further achievements since yesterday's Daily Dive video, I want to go ahead and say thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe as it greatly helps the channel. Light to be with you all. Take care and thanks again.